What's going on, everybody? My name is C4. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're here for a brand new Madden 26 rebuild. I had in my kind of schedule here to start working on a North Carolina college football 26 rebuild, which I kind of penciled in after seeing their Bill Belichick debut, which was not great. But out of all the football that I've watched since college and NFL has started back up, how the Miami Dolphins played against the Colts, I was like, that has to get to the top of the list. That has to be our first team. They pretty much allowed Daniel Jones in his Colts debut to have like the best game for a Colts quarterback going all the way back to like the Peyton Manning years. So that means he like technically, I assume, from reading between the lines there, that was better than anything Andrew Luck did. Obviously, Andrew Luck's a different species than Daniel Jones in terms of quarterbacks. But for that to happen with Miami, like I got a buddy that's a Fins fan. I got a couple Fins fans on the old social media feed. And like, I feel like let's try to hook them up here. And this is not going to be a rebuild where we're going to try to salvage things. We are going to be hitting the fire sale button right away because this is a team that at its core, it needs to get stripped down. You need to stop trying to patch over. You got to have a full-on rebuild. This offensive line is not good enough. Not good enough. Not where we need to be. In terms of like when we get to winning, you're going to be regressing. Kind of solid center. I think maybe the left guard could be a long-term play. I like Patrick Paul at left tackle, but both these guys, limited ceilings because they're on the normal depth chart. So there's a chance we've got to replace everybody on the offensive line. You got freaking Darren Waller out of retirement at tight end. That's not a good idea. That's not a good, well, I'm not going to say not a good idea. That's not a good situation if that is how you're relying on your tight end. It's like, well, we'll just bring Darren Waller out of retirement. Yeah, that'll fix it. You have Tua at quarterback, who I don't know how the hell he still has a superstar depth. I think our last rebuild was the Bears with Caleb Williams as an X factor. I think that was an outrageous dev trait to still have. I think it's still fair to say, why the hell does Tua have a superstar? I'm not saying you got to bring him down to a normal dev trait, but a superstar dev is incredibly generous. He looks, I mean, he's washed. He looks like one of those guys, maybe one too many injuries. He just doesn't look like the same player out there. I think I feel pretty good about the running backs. Achane should be a dude for us. At wide receiver, I think Tyreek kills over it. I think we already know kind of an ideal trade partner for this. I think we just kind of reset. How old's Jaylen Waddle? 25? He's 26. So like I think we could definitely still, in our plans, keep and plan and build around Jaylen Waddle being our wide receiver one. But even if that's the case, if I'm looking at who could be here 5-6 years from now when we're trying to compete, Achane, Waddle, maybe Paul Savania Brewer, maybe. Even then, I don't know. So that's not great when there's only two locks that I think could be here long term in Waddle and Achane. You look to the defense, it's not much better. Defensive line, you have Seiler, who's one of the most underrated D tackles in the league. You get Kenneth Grant, the 80 dev trait, the only dev trait. Dolphins as well in terms of Madden ratings for Madden 26, rookie ratings, the worst class. They only had one hidden dev rookie in Kenneth Grant. Every other team in the NFL had at least two hidden dev rookies. But Kenneth Grant should be here. I think Jalen Phillips in a contract year, the plan should be probably to try to keep him. Chop Robinson's a beast. You know, you got Judon as part of a rotation. I think Bradley Chubb's a player that could hold some value in the trade market for a team looking to get better at pass rush. We just don't need that depth. I don't think we're going to get a great return on investment. But, like, we already have Judon coming in. Like, he was a late signing as, like, our rotational veteran. Someone like Chubb that's been here established, I think it's reasonable and realistic that he could be on the trade block just to get Chop Robinson on the field more. Jordan Brooks is solid, but he's one of those guys. Is he going to still be good? Is he still going to be an ascending player when we are ready to compete? Or is he going to be one of those guys that's going to be on the downgrade and regressing that we need to kind of be conscientious of? But the rest of the linebacking core is, you know, Willie Gay, Tyrell Dodson, got Britt. Not much to write home about. The safety room doesn't get much better in terms of like guys that have been on the roster for a minute. Doesn't look great. They made the big trade, however, to send Jalen Ramsey to the Pittsburgh Steelers. In return, Minkah Fitzpatrick is back with the Dolphins. He's an absolute stud. I do not plan on fire sailing him. We got to keep whatever limited talent we can get on the defensive side of the ball. They got Rasul Douglas off the street. You got Jack Jones at corner. Yeah, man. It's, you know, you got the rookie Jason Marshall from Florida. It's the secondary's pretty bad too. Kohu out for the year. Maybe he could be like a long-term play for us at corner. But again, much like the offense where I think there's only two guys that are a lock to be here at the end of the rebuild. I think on the defense, Grant, I'd like to keep Phillips, Chop Robinson, and Minka. That's maybe out of every roster in this game, the lowest head count that I could see of players I really want to keep and try to build around. So we're going to make the trade with the Kansas City Chiefs. It's a weird one because I have no idea how the perceived value of Tyreek Hill is going to be, because obviously I feel like his stock's at an all-time low. But if there's one team that may view his potential upside and return to form, it would be the Chiefs. And I think this is a pretty favorable landing spot if you're Tyreek Hill. Obviously his chemistry with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, like, I think it'd be pretty annoying, honestly, for the rest of the league if this trade did happen, but it's what everyone's talking about. I think Tyreek Hill era in Miami probably should end, so we're going to send Tyreek Hill a 4th and a 6th round pick to get Shamari Connor. Now, I was just kind of looking at, like, where did the Chiefs have at least two guys that could be considered starters. I went with the better of the two, Connor and Hicks at strong safety. I'm going to play one of them at free safety, and just kind of, Connor is 25-76, has a star dev, so he could be a potential long-term piece for us at safety. It's one less position I have to worry about in the draft. I don't think you're getting a first-round pick for Tyreek Hill, even though there will be people like the casuals like, he's worth at least a first round. I think we got a generous offer from the Kansas City Chiefs, because I think the Chiefs are going to be in point of desperation. With Xavier Worthy leaving with a shoulder injury in the season opener, it looks like he might be out for a good amount of time. Rashee Rice could be suspended. I think there's an all-in approach that the Chiefs may be desperate. So I think getting a 2nd, a 3rd, and a potential long-term starter in Connor is great value for us to make in a return. So now we have Minka, 28-92 superstar, and we have Shamari Connor, who's a 1-point overall upgrade over what we had, and he also has a star dev trade. And we have a team in the Dallas Cowboys that are scrambling to kind of maybe get an established veteran pass rusher in lieu of the Micah Parsons trade to the Green Bay Packers. So we're able to get a 4th round pick for Bradley Chubb. Now our last trade was the most difficult one, not only to find a landing spot, but to try to somewhat justify the trade being had, because I could probably have got a 1st round pick. Tua is still an 82 superstar quarterback, and he is far from what he is in real life here in Madden. The Saints and the Rams are the two teams that I think could be in the discussion. I think the Saints are much more inclined to keep their picks and go towards a rebuild versus a team like the Rams, who I can say as a Philadelphia Eagle fan, the Rams gave us our toughest challenge last year en route to our Super Bowl. So I think the Rams are absolutely in a win now mode. They did have 2 first-round picks, so I think they might actually view, that 2nd round pick that we got in this trade is a little bit more expendable. I don't think Tua would get any. I think even 2nd round pick may be a little generous for Tua. So what I decided to do is, the last thing I want to do, because clearly it's a fire sale, is take advantage. So I threw in a 3rd round pick to get that nice 2nd round pick. We also get a 4th round pick next year. Well, the reason why I say the Rams is the Rams are win now. The Rams have a veteran quarterback in Matt Stafford who has a really serious back injury by all accounts. That is one of the worst injuries you could have, especially long-term, lingering. Sometimes Matt Stafford retires in this first offseason. So I think by those scenarios, quarterback could be a vulnerable position for the Rams this year as they try and win a Super Bowl. So they could have that insurance of Tua. Like, Tua immediately would become, without a doubt, the best backup quarterback, at least the most established backup quarterback in the league. And I think lastly, from a storyline, make it make sense perspective, I think someone like Sean McVay has the type of, and I use this as a positive, arrogance to say, I can fix Tua. I can get the best out of Tua again. He's not washed. Just bring him to my scheme. So that's why we made that trade. Now we need to sign some players. I'm going to get Malachi Corley off the free agents block. I really liked him coming out of Western Kentucky. We're going to sign Isaiah Foskey, who was a high-round pick of the Saints that recently got released. I'm going to work the trade block here a little bit. Cordell Flott, 76 star dev. He is in a contract year from the Giants, but he would walk in and be maybe our best corner. So I'm going to throw in our 4th round pick this year, our 4th round pick next year, as well as a 6th and a 7th this year to kind of get that trade bar there completed to bring in a player that's unlikely to get re-signed by the Giants. In our final trade, we need to find a quarterback. At no point did I have a plan of like Zach Wilson or Quinn Ewers having a chance to really start. And because I just kind of need a placeholder quarterback until we can draft one, let me at least have a placeholder quarterback that as an Eagle fan, just let me have this, okay? I think we probably overpaid a little bit, but I flipped some depth. I flipped a future 5th-round pick, Jack Jones, 75 star dev. But both Jones and Melifon were on 1-year deals, and I wasn't going to be re-signing them. So at this point, they helped the tank out a little bit. Tanner McKee is an incredible quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think we got away. If you go right now, and don't just say, oh, I'm a biased Eagle fan, I want to get an Eagle guy, I'm going to overvalue an Eagle guy. If you type in Tanner McKee trade on X, you're going to see, guys, Eagle beat reporters that have been beat reporters for 20, 30 years, saying, in their opinion, it would take at least a first-round pick for the Philadelphia Eagles to trade Tanner McKee. If you don't know about Tanner McKee, I don't know what to tell you. But us Eagle fans know that there is a player there. And if I'm not going to jinx anything, I don't want to put anything out in the universe, but let's just say if Tanner McKee has to play for the Eagles this year, it's definitely going to be a downgrade over Jalen Hurts. But I still have the utmost confidence that we're going to win a lot of games. He is a very good quarterback. My plan is still, though, 99% to draft a quarterback. Use all these picks in this fire sale to get a quarterback. However, if there's not a quarterback in 2026 worth getting, I'm gonna hedge my bets that between 2026 and 2027 class, we are going to be able to find that one quarterback. I want a kind of a fun placeholder quarterback. Let me have this as an Eagle fan. So we now have a first-round pick, 3 second-round picks, 2 third-round picks, and a 5th this year. And then basically next year is kind of like, it's a little, I would say it's standard, but these 2 3s, the 3 2s, those are going to be our aggressive trade bait, be it in 2026, or if we have to kick those down the road to 2027 to find our long-term quarterback. But here's going to be looking at our team. We're going with Tanner McKee now at quarterback 1. Jaylen Waddle at wide receiver 1. We're going to have Westbrook, Achane, and Malachi Corley as our 3 wide receivers. Everything else on the offense will remain the same. Defensively, still going to go with the same front. Phillips and Chop Robinson at pass rush. The only change with Connor at strong safety, I'm actually going to have him play a little sub linebacker. So that may be able to help him get a bunch of tackles, maybe even help him with a potential dev trait. And we got Cordell Flott, who already in his first practice here is vibing with the Finns. Big trade getting him from the Giants. We are going to have to figure out a contract extension this year, but happy to have him. All right, so we are mid-season-ish, just right before our bye week. We're 3-7. That honestly might be a little bit better than expected. The good news also is our offense is still pretty good. McDaniel is making the most of Tanner McKee, Achane, and Jaylen Waddle. Top 10 offense, top 10 passing offense, and the number 3 rushing offense. Defense is not great. At least, I mean, our run defense is not brutal, but yeah, 3-7. Okay. I thought we may only have 1 or 2 wins. So looking at the salary contract situation, I think we have Jalen Phillips. I think that is an easy, here's a 4-year, $62 million deal for the pass rusher. We have Cordell Flott, who we got in the trade. I think this is also another deal. It's like, all right, 4 years for you, and we will round that deal up to $28 million. I'd go up to 29 if you needed to. Locked in. Kohu. Now, missing this season, which is unfortunate, but I think this is another guy. I feel like maybe corner could end up being a position we don't have to necessarily prioritize super early. How is Rasul Douglas? When did he get a superstar def? Then, you got Defensive Player of the Week in Week 2. And Rasul Douglas, what? Okay. I'll bite. 1-year deal for Mr. Superstar Def. Outside of that, Waller, replaceable, Mallet, and everyone else is probably... Oh, do we keep the white corner? Just for the vibes? Ethan Bonner? Yeah, let's do it. So the interview number 1, an annoying win over the Patriots. Would have rather lose there and prove our draft stock. But we go 6-11. Offensively, I mean, that's what McDaniel is here for. That's his redeeming quality, supposedly. And his offense played well for as undermanned as we were. Number 10, 14th in pass yards with Tanner McKee, and only really 1 wide receiver in Jaylen Waddle after we traded away Tyreek Hill. Top 10 rushing offense. Our defense was kind of butt cheeks in terms of points allowed, but we had a good rush defense, which I definitely think we can hold our head up about. Tanner McKee was, 3,500 yards, 24 touchdowns, 19. I'd say if those interceptions were halved, I'd feel, decent about that. But as much, even as an Eagle fan, that I'd love to have a Tanner McKee rebuild, he's a placeholder quarterback, depending on how this upcoming draft looks. But if we say don't have a quarterback this year, I think we could roll with Tanner McKee for another season. But it's not like he played well enough to get a dev trait. And as long as he's not a normal dev trait, he will be 26. His ceiling is severely limited. Achane was pretty sick running the football, 1,300 yards and 16 touchdowns. I did consider moving him to slot, and just because we have depth at running back. I think Jalen Wright, I think Ollie Gordon are interesting running backs that we could have had maybe a little less Achane toting the rock and have him more involved in the pass game a little bit. Malachi Corley was 700 yards, 8-5 for Nick Westbrook, Achane, and Jaylen Waddle as an undisputed wide receiver 1. 62 catches, 1,100 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Not bad. Defensively, we got over 100 tackles from Jordan Brooks, 7 TFLs with 3 picks. 10.5 sacks on 14 TFLs for Chop Robinson. Jalen Phillips got himself a new contract, earned it. 19 TFLs, 8.5 sacks. 8.5 sacks for Zach Seiler. 3 sacks from the rookie Kenneth Grant. I'd say no one was really overly disappointing there. 3 picks, Jordan Brooks, 2 for Connor, 2 for Brents, 2 for Rasul Douglas, who again got that X factor in season. Maybe a little disappointed that we didn't get any picks for Flott, who got a contract extension, or Minkah Fitzpatrick for being the most talented player on the defense. Certainly didn't play like it. For our only award winner discussion, Achane was runner-up for running back of the year, but losing out to Derrick Henry. Now looking at our team as far as dev traits are concerned, Achane goes from star to superstar, which was really the only expected one on offense. Defense, I'd love to be surprised. Kenneth Grant's hidden dev is a star. We lose very quickly the superstar on Rasul Douglas. Minkah Fitzpatrick loses his superstar. Jordan Brooks goes from star to superstar. I thought Chop Robinson also would have been a prime candidate to potentially go up a dev trait, but him and Jalen Phillips both remain star dev traits. And for whatever it's worth, when you do rebuilds, when teams within our division win the Super Bowl, we take note because it adds pressure. The Buffalo Bills finally get over the hill and win a Super Bowl. This is probably the Super Bowl I think could happen in real life this year. I think it's either going to be the Bills-Eagles or Ravens-Eagles, biasly. But Josh Allen is on another one. Wins league MVP again, wins Super Bowl MVP, and the Bills are champions. So now the chase is on, man. We got to catch up. Now, I will say, coming over the roster, because this is rebuild time. Let's see if there's any bad contracts. That's actually kind of a bad contract for Austin Jackson, but I don't think I can replace him at this time. So we'll just kind of tuck that away, that maybe next year, if we need to free up some funds, that is a great spot to do so. But credit where credit's due. Maybe we traded away the bad contracts. Like, I'm not seeing a whole lot here that we have to dump in terms of a salary dump. So kudos to the Dolphins for not really having any ugly contracts after we move off of Tyreek Hill and Tua. Now, before someone suggests, well, what quarterbacks are in free agency for? Can we get a replacement there? And the answer is absolutely not. So free agency, we are going to address a couple positions. Jalen Coker, surprisingly there. I think he's a really nice wide receiver for the Panthers. So we'll try to get him in. Not a great market for him. Christian Harris for some athleticism at linebacker. And we need a rental at tight end just in case. It's going to probably take us a couple drafts to fill all our needs. So if we need a one-year tight end, why not go out and get the best tight end in Madden, Gronklin, Tyler Conklin. So as we get into our Focus Scout players, the bummer, if you will, is that there's no top 5 talent quarterback. The best looking one is Trent Ray, who's just like a legitimate first rounder. Now, he does look pretty good. Elite throw power behind the webcam here. 4.6 speed, A deep, A mid, B short. I'd say, honestly, if we don't have to trade up, that might be our quarterback. Because, we could just be chasing the dragon that doesn't exist if we're waiting to try to get that X-Factor quarterback, that S-tier role. That may only happen one every 4 or 5 years. And we need to win now. We can't just keep, tanking and tanking and tanking. So for our 3 focus scouts. I think wide receiver would be a position that we may want to consider. But then, like, the discussion comes out of the first round. Like, we're looking for, like, round 2 playmakers. Turner looks nice. Jamie Blake has that A catching. Do we have any, like, freak speed guys that we could cheese a little bit later? Ooh. 424 on Nick Magana. Okay, he'll be one of our guys because we will get rid of, like, the identity purely of the Dolphins. Dolphins still want to be speed. If there's, like, a legit burner in the first round, we'll go take a little look-see. Outside of that, I think you can't go wrong on the offensive line. But, again, we're looking, like, our money round is going to be rounds 2 and 3. That is where we have all of our picks. So, I'm not liking the look there. Little right tackle. Alexander. Ooh. He looks like he could actually be pretty good. So, he'll be another one. We're good along the defensive line. Secondary could use a corner. Just because Rasul Douglas regressed, I was kind of, we got our hopes up that Rasul Douglas is going to be an absolute stud. And then, lose his dev trait right away was an absolute bummer. A-zone coverage. Again, we're looking for, like, any of these guys could potentially fall the first round. Done. A-zone, but he has D-man, B-press. Kind of weird stats. Look at this guy. Sterling Silver. B-man, A-zone, C-press, B-catching, B-tackling. Sterling Silver. Second, third rounder. There's a fourth. That could be... he looks interesting. So let's take a look here. So the final mock draft has us getting the top quarterback at the number 3 pick. Don't hate it. We'll do it. And as far as our 3 focus scouts, Magana is a legit first rounder, but we're probably going to be unlikely to draft him. At tackle, we have Alexander's a top 5 talent. Ooh. A pass block, A run block. That'd be a guy, if he slips out of the first round, we may need to be aggressive. And then we had a corner. And Silver's a top 5. Okay. All right, so the Tanner McKee era does what it needed to do. Just be year 1. Because we're going to go out and get Trent Ray, quarterback from Boston College. There's not too many times, though, that, we have a pick. We get the quarterback that we want, the quarterback that we need. And I'm a little bit more intrigued about, can I find a way to trade up in the second round to get those 2 guys, if they fall to the second round. But let's see our quarterback here. At minimum, we got to get 1 foot in the door. He has a dev trait. So Trent Ray, number 17 in true value at number 3. That was expected. He does have a dev trait in 96 throw power, 84 acceleration, 80 speed. So, okay, cool. So yeah, Alexander the tackle, he goes early first round. So, told you that. How many times? Madden 26. You find a gem. If you really want them, you got to trade up. Hopefully the corner falls out of the first, and I'll go get him. Like, I'll move up 2 spots in the second round to ensure we can. Should we play with fire? I sat put. And we waited. Now, this guy's still here. The speedy wide receiver fell out of the first round. So we're going to get him first, and then I'm going to package my other picks to move up and get that corner. So Magana, the burner, 4.24, kind of a, cheese pick here. 14th in true value at 35, and he has a dev trait and 99 speed. There's our Tyreek Hill replacement. In order to make a trade happen, I'm going to send Juju Brent, 74, star dev corner. He's in a contract year, but Saints, much like us, probably intrigued by adding a dev trait player, as well as our highest remaining second-round pick and a 4th-round pick down the line to move up so we can get our top 5 corner, an immediate replacement for Juju Brents on the 53. We were very lucky. He is the top remaining corner available, but easy selection. I would have blind picked him if I didn't even know he was a top 5 talent. And he ends up being the number 3 player in the class at 36, Sterling Silver. That's a name. That's a first-team all-name out of Utah. 95 acceleration, 93 speed, hidden dev trade corner. Scheme fit as well. We're his own defense. Now, I know we got Gronklin, but we got Hayden Richards here at tight end. A catching traffic, A catching. B run block. Elite change of direction, jumping. That looks, And he's like a first rounder. That's falling, free falling here a little bit. So that'd be a guy there that we can consider. As far as tackles are concerned, I mean, we're in blind pick territory. I mean, this guy might be pass block, waiting a little bit later on Barclay. We got some guards, but double B's here on Timothy Jackson. B pass block, B run block. He wouldn't be bad. Nothing to tackle. Linebackers like in the maybe pile for us. Mark Nelson. A play rec, B tackle. A zone coverage. And we got A-man, A zone on Gregory as a UDFA. Okay, there's a couple guys there. Look at Jackson. You have a good bench press. I mean, this guy looks, oh yeah, number 1 bench press. So for our team, we feel good about our left guard. What's our right guard situation? Sorry, probably should have known this already. So we have, easy left guard. Right guard, we have James Daniels, the veteran. He's an 81. I think as much as I like Gronk, that tight end looks interesting. Maybe the most interesting. So let's do that. Because even then, we only have Gronk on a 1 year. All right, Hayden Richardson, give me some blind pick love. 42 at 60. So, I mean, it's a reasonable pick, but we do get a depth trade tight end, and he's a good athlete. And we're still able to get Jackson. Still on the board, Mr. Jackson. Easy pick. Number 1 in the bench press. Great letter grades. 45 in true value, but I'm going to think with that athleticism, there should be a dev trade here, and there is. Now, I traded our last third-round pick for a future third-round pick. My draft board's getting not in the best spot, but I will tell you there might be another gem wide receiver, and I'm going to show you how I figured out he could be good. He's an A in catching, and he's a UDFA player. Esteban Gonzalez, A catching, slot. For those of you that remember Mitch Howard that we drafted in our Raiders franchise, this guy here has a lot of similarities. So I'm thinking, for us to add wide receiver depth, we can honestly leave with 2. And there he's at least a value pick, not a steal. 73 in true value at 131, but a dev trade player. We need a punter. Just kind of guy, show you tip trick. If I was looking at a punter, do you know your ABCs? Because way down here, there's a guy that has an A in kick accuracy. His kick power is solid, which is, I'd rather take a solid A versus a kick power that may have good and like a C accuracy. And he ends up being a top 100 the dev trade punter. Yep. So take a look at our draft recap. Holy shit, an 80 in the second round. Sterling Silver. Let's go. We get Magana, 99 speed, 77 dev trait. We get Trent Ray, the quarterback, fell to us at 3, didn't have to trade up, 76 with a dev trait. Richards, 74 with a dev trait. Jackson, 74 with a dev trait. Gonzalez, 72 with a dev trait. And Messina, 71 with a dev. At this point, I would believe people like he's cheating somehow. Like, that is why now I'm conscientious of just trying to at least walk you through my process. We got you because you had A in kick accuracy. You're the only guy with an A. I got you because you had fast speed and A in catching for a UDFA grade player. We got Jackson. He was very self-explanatory. He had easily the best letter grades, and he was first in the bench press. That was a blind pick. We got Richardson because he had A in catching, and athletically speaking, was the most athletic tight end at that position. We got Silver because it was self-explanatory. Blind picked. Oh, you have A-B in man zone coverage, and you're maybe going in the 3rd round? Let me take a little look-see there. Top 5 talent scouted. We got the guy that ran a 4.24, tying the combine record. yeah, he ends up being good. And then we get the only quarterback of the class that had a round 1 grade. Now, I'm curious. Like, this feels like, at least for us, a very overpowered class. Was it a strong class regardless? Number 1 player went 2nd overall right before we picked Elton Lindley, the corner. Nice little pairing with J.C. Horn there in Carolina. Alexander, the tackle that we like, is also an 80. He was supposed to go potentially in the 2nd round. We would have been all over that. So we would have had, oh man, if we would be able to get that, that would have been an insane class. All right, let's do it. 1 take. No rerolls. Ray, oh my fucking God. First throw. Worm burner. Oh. Man, this drill is so weird. I will say, I get more gold medals in this drill than I did at any point last year. And then also, I still don't know how to do it. It's just, you know, sometimes my throws go where I want them to go. We'll get bullseyes. Other times, by doing literally nothing different. No different buttons. No different, like, holding the throw button. I'll worm burner it. And, like, barely, like, almost borderline miss the target. So, yeah. Let's see if we can get this gold medal here. We're definitely turned this around. We got at least a silver. Which, if you watched my rebuilds last year, I would take a silver. Every day of the week. But anytime you get a brand new franchise quarterback, you'd love to have him come in this drill, get a gold medal. And we are very close. One more good throw. And, oh, there you go. Just barely made the cut. Well, that gold medal, we get a very generous +2 with our first upgrade. And we're going to work on making him a scheme fit. So a gold medal in training camp brings Trent Ray as he starts week 1. Up to a 79 overall. And we'll get a good look at his dev trait. You know what? It's a new era. We're going to put the C on his chest. And we should get a look at his dev trait, you know, a couple weeks in. Hopefully, better than Star. So his first start comes on the road at Soldier Field against the Chicago Bears. And as we always like to do with any rookie quarterback, be it realistic rebuilds of real players or Ray, let's get a look at his NFL debut. Looks like we got cloudy conditions. Hopefully not a rain game. Let's try to take down Caleb Williams. They're going for it. Opening drive. Okay, couple 4th down conversions. Oh, we want to go for it as well. Okay. Well, don't. Okay, coach, clearly you give me this moment to play because we're thinking about going for it. Well, why is McKee in at quarterback? Go Jalen Coker. What? Come on, depth chart. There we go. Shout out Tanner McKee. Ray had to take a dump, so Tanner McKee had to run out there. And now we go. Now here we are. Back. Actual debut of Ray now. See what we can do. Look, we got a new tight end, new 99 speed wide receiver, all reliable Jaylen Waddle. Drop. Nice, sick. Great job, Jaylen. Did we trade away the wrong wide receiver? Should we have kept it toxic with Tyreek Hill? This has not been great. I don't think we've had one play over the 50-yard line. Let's see if we can turn it around. 1:34 to go in the 3rd quarter. I don't think we've thrown a pick yet, so it's not like it's been a bunch of turnovers. And we'll go right here to Gronklin. You know, if no one got us, Gronklin will get us. Oh, we did throw a pick. Trent Ray, 1 interception. Looking for a break even here. Yeah, we could run it. Or, hear me out, let's get a touchdown with our quarterback. Westbrook Achane. Is that who needs to get this? Oh, you gotta just reach out. Okay, I need a good play. I mean, this game is still everything to play for. Our defense, for how bad our offense has been, to hold the Bears to 17. Pretty decent. Now, this is probably stupid. Should just run it. But we'll just also go to the rookie Richards at tight end. Great blind pick. However, it's one of those classic, we score, and then finally they start figuring it out. But we are still a touchdown here to make it a one-score game and everything to play for if our defense can get one more stop. Let's go, Ray. We'll take the easy check down to Gronklin. And then maybe this one here and throw it out of the backfield to Achane. Got him. I'll say credit where credit's due. I think this is a fun playbook. Like, if I ever had to, like, change our Raiders playbook around, the main franchise, god damn it, I would strongly consider, like, if McDaniel is, like, a free agent coach. Right now we hired Kellen Moore. I would consider. Trying to show off that arm talent. I'm not going to fault him for that. He's a huge hit. But definitely not a dream debut for Ray. Losing again against the Bears team that's pretty mid. I can say that because literally a couple hours ago was the Bears' just terrible performance against the Vikings. Second half collapse. But Trent Ray, 2 touchdowns, $163, 70% completion percentage. You can only go up. All right, so we're at midseason. A lot of things to process here. Well, we're 3-4, so like we're competitive. Got a nice win over the Chargers. They're a playoff caliber team. We do have some dev traits unveiled. Not all, but some. We're still waiting on the tight end and Jackson. But we know McGenna is a star dev. Ray, our quarterback, is also a star dev. We're going to wait on Gonzalez as well, so we still have 3 hidden devs left. That's a bummer. And when we go to the defensive side, our corner is also a star dev trait. So, great picks at face value. Still great, but far from perfect rolls. Now, off our win, we have a Chop Robinson hat trick of sack defensive player of the week. And I imagine that is parlaying itself into a breakout scenario for Chop Robinson. On a star dev, thought last year. No, who the fuck is Michael Barrett? I don't even know. That's like our linebacker 4. Like, at maybe 3. Like, he is special team. We have a special teams ace that has a chance at going up dev trade. Michael Barrett. I think he's, like, originally a Raider. I feel like I cut that guy in our Raiders franchise. Lose to the Vikings. What? Okay. So it almost feels like a bug, but a bug we will take is Michael Barrett. Dev trade. Like, what is he doing? How does he look? He literally got nothing last week. 1 tackle. Like that. Okay, great. That's a bug. But hey, a bug we will... Sure, I'll take it. Ooh, kind of surprise. Put a hurting on the Patriots, and we get our first player of the week for Ray at quarterback. 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, did have a pick, got sacked a couple times. But 450 total yards on the day and 5 tuds. Let's get a couple more of those locked in, and he should get Offensive Rookie of the Year. Maybe get off that star dev trait. Jesus Christ, when we go beat the Bills. All right, we got momentum. Let's look at contracts now that I'm happy. Achane. Done. What do you mean? You want your full green bar? Should take any offer I throw at you. Minkah Fitzpatrick. Don't really want to overpay here. Yeah, he doesn't want to return. That's a bummer. Jordan Brooks, superstar linebacker. What about you? 3-year deal. We'll go up to 5.5 and 8. Wow. Okay, these guys just fucking hate the fact that we're finally turning it around. What about you? Shamari Connor in the Tyreek Hill trade. Okay, he buys in at strong safety. Oh, man. Hey, happy for McKee. He's got to go out and get paid on the open market. Sign you just so I don't have to keep bringing long snappers. But, I mean, definitely going to keep Achane. I think we can make Minkah and Brooks work as well. Well, the next week, we are on a win streak, 6-5, and it is Minkah proving his value with a Defensive Player of the Week performance. All right, so we get Achane back. Had to give him about another $1 million. I don't think we were super far away on Minkah. Let's do the old classic +2/+2. Done. I think we can probably +2/+2 here on Jordan Brooks. And get that one done as well. 3-year. Oh, that was 41.7, probably 42. Gets that one across the line. Right now, this is going to be my final offer. If he does not take this, we're going to look out. So even this is an overpay. But be gone. Remember when when we were just talking, we had 6 wins? Didn't think we'd finish with 6 wins. There was a Browns, Raider, Jet loss, and those are some of the worst teams in the league. Jets actually were only a 2-win team when they beat us. Hey, it's a rebuild for a reason. This team still is fucking terrible. The good news for us is that Ray at least played decent enough to get the cheesy rookie XP. As you can see, the bug that we highlighted in an earlier reel, we threw 15 picks. He gets 5,000 XP for that. But 3,500 season passing yards gives us almost 20,000 XP. Which, I mean, all that stuff goes a long way. So that is going to, and we'll put all those points into Field General. So he's going to end his campaign. It would be really nice to cap it all off with an Offensive Rookie of the Year, just to see. It's not automatic. It's probably like 75-25 that you get a dev trait. We can get him off that star dev, but 84 is a fantastic rating to end your rookie campaign. So look at that. Statistically, gave us a little bit more than we got out of Tanner McKee, just outside the top 10 in passing yards and touchdowns. So I am now pretty cautiously optimistic that we will get Offensive Rookie of the Year. Achane going, like, having a thirding most of his stat, having his yards and a thirding his touchdowns, I did not see coming. Waddle goes over 1,000 yards again, 10 touchdowns. Magana, 8-4. Gonzalez, almost 8-3. He was one of the rookies we didn't know his dev traits. It's stars. So I think all of our dev traits are probably stars at this point. The tight end was solid as well, but man, what the fuck? We had like 1,300 yards and what, 10 touchdowns, 13 touchdowns, something like that last year. What happened? Not even get at least 1,000. Defensively, everything kind of looks in line. Chop Robinson, 12 sacks, 10 sacks. Jalen Phillips, 6.5 Seiler. Definitely, you know, Kenneth Grant's kind of been a wet fart, unfortunately, on that defensive front. Sterling Silver, the rookie corner, leads the team with 3 picks, 2 from Minkah. We get it. Trent Ray is your Offensive Rookie of the Year. Magana making the top 5. Gonzalez just outside the top 5. And we get the Superstar Dev trade for Trent Ray. Let's go. Not automatic. When you don't get it, it almost makes you feel like the rebuild's cursed. When you do get it, I mean, we're feeling great. We took Tua, deserved or not, we flipped an 82 Superstar Dev quarterback that's washed. And in a year, we're able to get a 85 Superstar Dev trade quarterback that isn't. Now for the rest of the team, Jackson's Dev trade unveiled as a star. We didn't lose the Superstar on Achane, so I think that's pretty cool. Defensively for dev traits, no one goes up a dev. Man, what does Chop Robinson need to do to go up a dev trait? We got Barrett getting an unjust one in season, which I will still gladly take. His linebackers position, we definitely don't have much depth at. But, man, he's getting robbed. And our punter's a star. So all of our dev trait players were star devs. So we're going to get ahead of the extension. We're going to decline the 5th-year option for Chop Robinson, and we're going to pay him next season. We're going to let Jordan Brooks hit free agency. So, I don't know. Do we roll with Barrett and see if we can make the most of that dev trait? Maybe. Probably also going to prioritize getting a linebacker sooner than later in the upcoming draft class. So going to free up some more money by moving on from James Daniels so we can get the dev trade Timothy Jackson on the field. Now, we enter free agency with $161 million. Can we spend it? Probably one of the only positions we don't need an upgrade for. Aiden Hudson would have been pretty sick. He's looking for almost $40 million a year. The linebackers, we're getting a terrible one. Now, we have Bobby O'Sullivan, who's a dev trait. I don't know, UDFA that I missed, or maybe he got scooped up on a practice squad. But outside of that, of course, just like all vets, of course, Jordan Brooks is the best guy available. So we just haven't got, I don't need anything in the secondary. I'm pretty good with that. So we are, with so much money, nowhere really to spend it. So I'm going to overpay on Elton Jenkins. I need a center. That kind of feels like set and forget. And at least we get, one starter with our insane amount of cap space. That means we're going to be going into the draft I need a right tackle. I need a Mike, starting Mike. And then a lot, plenty of spots to go BPA. So we need a tackle. It's a good year to need a tackle. We scouted the top 2 tackles, both top 5 talents. If we had to maybe tie break, because they look nearly identical, Stein has a run block, a pass block. Myers, on the other hand, better combine. Not better bench press numbers, but he's, 4.8 speed tackle. Both these guys look great. The bad news is, they're going 1 and 2. We pick at 8. We're going to trade up. There's just no way I can trade up for pick 1. Pick 1 always is very difficult, but pick 2, we're going to be able to get, now it's the optics of I'm immediately just trading a lot to get the second choice tackle. Like, I'm not going to get my ideal choice, but you got to do what you got to do. So to get the number 2 pick, it's going to cost us pick 8, our second round pick this year, a 4th round pick this year, and a second round pick next year. And you can faintly see a top need for the Saints was a running back. So I'm going to throw in Wright, who is honestly, a pretty sick running back on a rookie contract, and we're able to get that deal done. So Myers goes first. Obviously, as soon as we finish the draft, we're going to go have to look at his dev trait. But we're happy with our pick. I get the better letter grades. All A's across the board for Stein. Not nearly athletic, but the strength is there. And at minimum, I just need a dev trait here. Don't be high rating, no dev trait. Number 3 in true value, getting me at pick 2. And we get the dev. Let's go. The board's cut a shot. I need a linebacker. There's not a linebacker even worth drafting. So we're going to default here to nose tackle cheese. Brandon Harris looks real good. Sub 5 in the 40-yard dash. And he ends up being a top 10 with a dev trade out of Oregon. Now, I kind of have a couple guys tabbed up as like flyers. But they need to nerf this a little bit. There are way too many generational kickers. I need a kicker. So I'm not... Now, honestly, I would say for your rebuilds, these happen at least one, I would say one every 3 seasons. Just never pay kicker. Just draft one because elite dev, A kick power kickers tend to exist fairly easy to find. So take a look at our recap. Feel real good about the draft, all things considered. As you can tell, whiffed on the speed linebacker. We did get a speed running back, Junior Singleton. Now, I'm not going to just be a casual and say I drafted the fastest players available at those positions because that's absolutely not what I did. But we got a 76 dev trade kicker, nose tackle cheese. I don't even know if it's... I mean, Seiler is getting up there in age a little bit, so it is good to have depth. And Stein, 78 tackle, but we have to go see... Was it the Jets? Which doesn't make any sense because the Jets have Membu and Fashanu at tackle for them to go after a tackle. But they went out and got Rob Myers. Maybe they're going to move one of those guys to guard. Maybe they're playing 4D chess. Maybe it's just dumb team making a dumb decision. But he is a superstar. People have told me about the USC safety that gets generated, and this is probably him. Pat Beck with 83. Hidden dev safety. He's a 99 hit power. He does. That's so weird. That, like, sometimes in Madden, like, if you use the Play Now rosters and use that generated class, like the weekly update, everybody gets the exact same draft class. And like those players, like I remember a couple years ago, there was like a 6'7" wide receiver from like Iowa that generated every time. And like the amount of people that were trying to like tag me on social media, look at this guy. Like, yes, he exists every class. But the fact that in generated classes, there is just this guy floats around and eventually pops in every now and again. It's kind of weird. So now to year 3. I don't know, man. Are you guys experiencing, if you're doing rebuilds, if you're playing like week by week by week, maybe it's different. But also, I mean, we're playing our Raiders franchise week by week by week, and we're not seeing them. Breakout scenarios, man. Few and far between. It felt like, 2-3 Maddens ago, you get breakout, you get like 2 or 3 a year. Now I feel like I might get 1 a year. Like, I feel like the scaling and balancing of player development in franchise mode, like maybe we stop giving 25,000 XP for a quarterback getting 3,500 rush yards or a running back getting 1,000 rush yards. Maybe we have more breakout scenarios. That'd be cool, but we're 4-2. We declined the 5th-year option on Chop Robinson so that we could pay him, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We have so much money because free agency has been terrible. So we'll get Chop. I mean, we might as well keep Barrett for getting his depth trait. Maybe he's just a player the sim is determined to make a thing. I feel like Patrick Paul is a serviceable. He's not playing right tackle. Like, his ceiling's probably low 80s, come year 5 of this rebuild. So I have no problem paying that. We got Watson, big 415-pounder. But I would say, we're good. Let's hope we get a good free agency roll here so we can spend all our money. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of just went through the motions here this year in year 3 thinking that, we're going to crash and burn, not make the playoffs. Make the playoffs! We go 12-5. The bad news is we run into the Kansas City Chiefs in the first round, and they're probably best team in the game, 89 overall with a 91 offense. But we have a couple green rankings. Top 10 passing offense, top 10 overall defense, top 10 rush defense. We win the AFC East. We're the 2 seed in the AFC. For our player stats, Trent Ray, look at that. 4,100 yards, 35 touchdowns, 8 picks. Humming. David Achane, back up over 1,000 yards. Good 1-2 punch with Ollie Gordon. 2,000-yard receivers. Jaylen Waddle, 73 catches, 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns, 11-6 from Magana. Gonzalez was good. Richards was good. Almost 10 touchdowns for him. Defensively, Harris, good tackles. 12.5 sacks, Chop Robinson. 9.5 Seiler. 9 from Jalen Phillips. And our interception numbers are modest. We still got a long way to go, but Ray has made the MVP shortlist. Franchise community, I don't know what we could call him. He was the mock-up design of what franchise could be. He now works on franchise with Madden. Deuce Douglas, he made himself a coordinator. I think he's like the Chiefs OC. Mike McDaniel, runner-up to Deuce Douglas for Coach of the Year. Hey, maybe we can shock the world. I do kind of feel like this is a let's just get in and get it over with against the Chiefs. But we are the home team. Maybe we'll get a little home team magic and get an upset here to get our first playoff win for Mike McDaniel. First playoff win for the Dolphins in, 20 years? Well, let's get a little magic here at the Hard Rock. All right, defense held strong. Opening drive for our offense. Gets a touchdown. This could be a changing of the guard. Of course, we give up a safety. So we're just making rookie mistakes. But we're just going to keep slanging it. And for what it's worth, it feels like when we score... Oh, there we go. Insta score, 22-22. We score, they score. We score, they score. They punt, we punt. They punt, we punt. Something has got to give, and it might be this drive here. We still got a chance. Touchdown, we're tied at 32. Fuck. Noel Williams, 86-yard interception. Kept it closer than I thought, but fuck. Back to the drawing board. Did our quarterback at least play out of his mind, or was it more Achane doing the damn thing? He played well. Good completion percentage. Did have the 1 turnover, which in a game against Mahomes in the playoffs can often be the deciding factor. Achane, not crazy yards, but a touchdown. 2 touchdowns for Achane. Waddle over 100 yards. Defensively, our pass rush was acceptable, but you got to play better than that to beat Mahomes. At the end of the year, the only free agent we've been able to sign, Elton Jenkins, retires. Great. He got 1 year into a 4-year contract. Also, we traded up for, anytime a superstar tackle goes in front of a non-superstar tackle. That's a little bit of a bummer. But, I mean, Stein is an 82 tackle, so we're fine in that regard. No depth traits up or down. And we're going to go into the offseason really needing a center. But that's kind of good. Offensively, a center. We can do that. That is doable. Defensively, just can't get dev traits. We got Christian Harris off his normal dev, but we cannot buy a star dev. Now, I guess every starter is at least a star dev, but now comes the question, like, where do we get better? We need off-ball linebacker. Yep. I don't know. I think BPA defensively, it's pretty good, pretty solid across the board. But I also feel like with where we're at, we're not just a center away. We're going to decline the 5th-year option for Kenneth Grant, honestly, because I don't know if I'm going to pay him at all. He has been a pedestrian in this rebuild. So we go to free agency. It's not a good free agency role. It's unfortunate. All veterans, and I'm not against veterans per se. I threw an offer on Zach Bond, did not get him. I threw an offer on Jalen Carleys at linebacker, didn't get him. So, found a fullback, Ladarius Nails. 81, started at fullback, just sitting there. Yeah, we utilize fullback every now and again, but still, we're looking at how we move the needle as a franchise. Fact of the matter is, I have $126 million of salary cap. I don't necessarily want to be trying to trade for players with big contracts. We have plenty of money to keep our own talent in house, but it's like those difference makers that I should be spending that cap on just haven't existed, not even once in free agency. So looking at the draft, our position, the biggest position is center. Secondary position I have as tackle and linebacker. There looks to be, from a blind picks perspective, some nice tackles. We got Gomez with an A. Look at this guy down here. Russell Edwards, B-A-A. Yeah, he has D, but I'll take the one side. That he is a really, really good pass blocker. Right tackle, not so much. But I did scout the centers. And the top center, not great. The second center, Luke Jones, looks pretty damn good. Now, this is where, in years past, I could sit and wait. Might even be able to wait till late second round. There's a chance Luke Jones does go in the first round. It could be us. We might need to select that. However, we talk about this USC strong safety, right? I think another one is here in Bradley Hankins. A hit power, A tackle, A pursuit, B whatever. I need a linebacker, 6'3", 221. It can play linebacker. So I'm thinking, where's that guy going? Is there a scenario that we can get this safety and move him to linebacker in the first round and then get that center in the second round? So looking at the final mock draft, just to get an idea of who is going where. Hankins is going 16th. So we would have to trade up. Not a hard trade. The issue is Jones also is going in the first round. But I feel like this guy's going to be like an X factor. Let's see what we'll call what the Rams want. If not, we'll stay put and get our center. If it's too expensive. Okay, so to move up 9 spots, it cost me a second-round pick next year. But it allows us, for the first time, to draft one of these cheesy, insane USC safeties that I've been hearing about. Now, I hope I'm not getting fool's gold here. But B safety, yeah, number 1 in true value at pick 15. Now, the question will be, when we see his rating in the draft recap, I'm playing him at linebacker. Now, I'll see it the official position change, like tanks his rating, and if it does, we'll just have him stay at strong safety and be like a sub linebacker. But he looks pretty damn good. I'm actually shocked that I've drafted so well in Madden 26 because good players get overdrafted. There's literally no centers, like not even like the day 3 centers. They're gone. Like we might get this guy, Dennis Anthony, because he has B pass block power, B run block. But even then, it's a UDFA play. I'm going to draft him here. It's just because if I don't get, and he sucks. Fuck. So looking at our draft recap. Well, got a C6 hidden dev tight end late just by drafting the best athlete. 70 normal wide receiver. The center is, I mean, we just got screwed out of that, but this is it. This is why we get to draft the number 1 player. 83. Now, just because I don't need a strong safety right now, per se, do I want to move him the linebacker and have him mess? No, I don't want him to mess with. No. We'll keep him at strong safety. We can play him at linebacker. Stud. Now, out of curiosity, what was that center? Now, I'm regretting not kind of just like mortgaging my future drafts to get all my guys, but the issue was, you know, we trade up to 15, and then I'd have to find a way to trade up to pick number, there you go, right here, 30. Luke Jones. 75 dev trait. Would that have been worth it? I mean, you can make the argument that center's like the least important position on an entire offense for a sim, but I don't know. So let's go to your number 4. Couldn't find our center, so I literally just signed the top available free agent remaining. It's John Gaines, former lineman for the Cardinals. I remember back from the Cardinals franchise. But our offense, I mean, that's a good to go offense. Ray's a 93 superstar. Achane's a stud. We have 3 playmakers at wide receiver. Nice solid tight end. The offensive line across the board is solid. We got a great fullback as our only free agent signing with $160 million of cap. But the defense, I mean, we're 3 deep at D tackle. Chop Robinson and Phillips have been productive. You got Barrett and Harris at linebacker. Hakens is going to be a sub linebacker. Connor and Fitzpatrick at safety are legit. You know, we got Silver, Kohu, Flott at corner. There's just no weakness to this team. I expect to be better than what we were a year ago. So year 4, we got a hot start for the Dolphins. We are 6-1. Got some tough games coming up, but the good news is, yep, this guy is as advertised. Bradley Hankins in his run support, so he's fitting right into that role that we have. He's going to be a kind of like our Derwin James. He is a superstar X factor. 99 hit power, 92 acceleration, great tackling, great pursuit. I mean, he is pretty much a linebacker playing safety. So that's good. And apparently, difference maker. Defense is playing well. Looking at our contracts here. We'll pay Jaylen Waddle. He's been a consistent 1,000-yard receiver, even though he's getting to the end of his prime. Kenneth Grant just hasn't done anything. I think we'll go Jonah at guard. He's been good, locked in. He's probably our best lineman, developing lineman, anyways. It's just like depth. It's just one of those things where, like, yeah, sure. Technically, I guess we could have and afford this depth because we have so much money. Maybe we'll keep Ollie Gordon at RB2. We just have so much cap. And, like, what are the odds that, like, this is going to be a good free agency period? That's my issue. Like, we have James here as a dev trait. Like, that's kind of worth keeping, but he doesn't want to take a cut rate deal. But in, like, Kenneth Grant's case, you know, I'd want to keep him more so just because he's the big name from the draft class. But the reality is, like, he's done fuck all. Like, I don't think he's got more than, like, 3 sacks. And obviously, that's not necessarily his role. But I better be seeing, like, 15, 16, 20-plus TFLs. You need to be a demon against the run. And he hasn't even been that. But free agency's been so bad, we might as well, you know, throw up the money to keep him in case he actually develops into that guy. So I was simming. Sometimes I batch sim. Like, we'll just go mid-season sim to season's end. But I was like, I'm looking for, like, can we get a weekly player of the week? Can we get a breakout scenario? All we did was we just kept winning. That was it. No scenarios, no dominant performances. And while, yes, 14-3, yes, we win our 2nd straight AFC East title. Yes, we are the 1 seed in the AFC. Well, we kind of have, like, a shiny superstar top young quarterback. Don't love seeing we're the 28th passing yard offense, considering last year we were airing the football. He had a lot of time. Now, yards doesn't necessarily equal a great season. Like, I don't care if he had 3,200 yards, but 40 touchdowns. But that's, I don't know, a little frustrating considering how we've used our resources. But top 5 rushing offense, defense elite, which is very nice. And we did get to kind of finish the year 1 weekly award winner. It was both our players in Ray with 3 touchdowns, and Hankins, the rookie X Factor, Just an absolute difference maker. The missing piece for this team. But take a look at our stats. See, look, that's in line. Yards can be misleading. 33 yards, yeah, whatever, not great. But 35 touchdowns to 7 picks. That is what I'm expecting out of our former offensive rookie of the year quarterback. Achane, 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns. Ollie Gordon getting involved. Receiving, Waddle gets his 1,000 yards, 13 touchdowns. Receivers are on point as well. Not a lot of big plays. Sometimes we have like 60, 70, 80-yard longs. Nothing over 50 this year, so kind of tracks the lack of stats. Look at Hankins, though, as a rookie, leading the team in 99 tackles. We got 5 TFLs, 3 sacks, 5 picks. A machine. 15 sacks, Chop Robinson, 12.5 Jalen Phillips, 5 from Christian Harris, 5 from Curtis, 4.5 Seiler, and just again, dude, Kenneth Grant, what do you do? Why are you even here? Kohu, 4 picks. Likes in that Silver with 2. I know it may seem impossible, Dolphin fans, but Mike McDaniel wins Coach of the Year. Just give him 4 more years. Bradley Hankins runs away with Defensive Rookie of the Year. He also wins DB of the Year as a rookie, and we get Kicker of the Year for Rob Leach. We don't get a good roll. Last year, we made the playoffs, got the Chiefs. This year, we get one of the tough, I mean, look at that. Joe Burrow, 5,000 yards on the dot, 40 touchdowns. And I don't know if we have the ideal secondary to slow down Jamar Chase and that number 2 passing offense. We do get an upgrade here. Hopefully it's for a couple starters so we can put our best foot forward. And it is Hankins. A couple other of the backups there, but let's see Hankins. 88 overall. We'll go, honestly, I think because of how we utilize him, run support is still the best bet for him forward. With all the boosts, he's playing like a 94 overall. I'm going to put the C on his chest. That's how special of a player. Parry that with Minka. We have the best safety duos in the league. Let's upset. Even though they're the 1 seed, I still think it would be an upset for us to beat the Bengals. Now, we were at home last time, and we lost to the Chiefs, so I don't know necessarily if there's a whole lot of home field magic. Probably can make the argument Miami has one of the worst home field advantages in the league. But we'll see. Come on. Let's get that playoff win that keeps eluding this franchise. We tie the Bengals up at 7. Look at that great response drive. And we were very close to going at halftime with a lead. Good drives here, man. We gotta get some points. Field goal is not gonna cut it. Bengals are gonna be scoring touchdowns. We don't want to be playing different sports. There we go. Big shot. 24-21. The 4th quarter lead. We just need to hold on defensively. Oh, no. Not bad, though. 1:40. We got the ball at the 41. We got a lot of talent. Team's fucking cursed, man. This team sucks. Miami sucks. Playbook sucks. This coach sucks. And I don't know what the missing piece is. We got pass rush. We have secondary players. Maybe we got to get, I don't know, linebacker. You know, I don't know. I do not know what the missing piece is. Like, did we even run the ball good? Like, we had one of the best rushing offenses. I feel like we, I mean, I guess, I mean, it wasn't great, but you know, we're going into year 5. This is now our longest rebuild, and I don't know. The only thing that to me makes sense that I could change and fix, which is out of my control, and it's like I don't really want to be like, honestly, I may have to look at shipping future first round picks just to acquire big name players, is we just have, you know, 75% more salary cap space than any other team in the league. Just sitting there, not spending worth on talent. That if I could spend that on talent, maybe that would be the difference maker for us to go on a playoff run. I mean, we get teams like the Cardinals going on and winning the Super Bowl. We got Coach of the Year, best defensive rookie in the league. You know, why not us? And with the retirement of Zach Seiler, you know, that's maybe the positive of re-signing Kenneth Grant when we did. But we have $163 million of salary cap. Give us a free, like, we should have just signed Aiden Hutchinson when he was out there. Just, you know, just cuts. He's the only good free agent that's been here in 4 years. Now, as far as depth trades, nothing on offense. Everyone maintained, which I suppose is good. Defensively, we had the retirement of Seiler, but Chop Robinson is finally a superstar. I thought there's been pretty much every year he's had a chance that if he went up, it would make sense. Happy that he finally has that. Maybe that's going to be a difference maker for the defense. He's been sick. You know what? I'll put the C on his chest. He's been our most reliable pass rush this whole rebuild. Now for our contracts, we're going to decline the 5th-year option on Ray. We're going to get ahead of that deal next year. This might be the only rebuild where like that, whatever number it's going to be, doesn't matter. We have too much salary cap. I want you guys to experience the either pain or joy that I'm about to, because I don't know what the free agents look like. We look at our team right now. All right. You know, maybe we could use like an X. Okay, this would be like we have salary cap to spend if there's a crazy wide receiver. Probably don't need one, but maybe that's what we're missing. We're missing that X factor superstar game changer at wideout, like a prime Tyreek Hill. We need a center still. That's really it offensively. Defensively, with the retirement of Siler, we could look to improve the D-line, but with Grant and Harris, we might have enough juice there. Middle linebacker, again, we have kind of Hankins playing that hybrid role. We're fine, but if there's an upgrade, yes. I do think corner would be a position we need to consider. They get, a big upgrade. But, there we go. Middle linebacker, corner, center, BPA wide receiver. What are the odds? None of those are available in free agency. Very high. So let's go. Let's go here live. Boom. Free agency. $159 million. Ooh. Don't need a pass rusher, but don't really need any of these things. Okay, running back. What a wide receiver. Okay, fuck all. There's literally fuck all. No one's an upgrade. Okay, keep on keeping on here. Tight end, we're good there. Offensive line, we need a center. Now, I could cheese this because Landon Dickerson plays center. He was I don't know. Let's see if we can. I don't want to necessarily overpay for an out of position player, and we're not even gonna have a chance there. So we'll just withdraw that. Do we bring back Aaron Brewer just cause? Bortolini, Tate Ratledge, didn't he play center? He was listed as a center for. Give me a second here. If he's center, I'm gonna tell you right now. If he's center on our lad's depth chart for the Lions, I'll get him and make him a center. Oh, he's a guard now, so I can't, in a good conscience, make that move. All right, defensively, you got Bosa. There's just I can't we have both our edge rushers under contract and none of them I can move inside. Now we got do we bring back Wilkins? Is that a difference maker? There's no offers on him. Linebacker, what do we got? Nothing. Corner, secondary, what do we got? Fucking nothing, dude. Free. Oh my god. What sliders do you need to get fun free agents? All right, maybe that'll do something. Fuck, man. Who could play this game? Looked at every team. I was like, what wide receiver would be pissed off and maybe demand a trade? And Malik Neighbors has regressed down to a star, which means just not being used. Giants not making the playoffs. I view it personally as a Saquon Barkley situation. He wants out of town. He's pissed off with the quarterback situation. I just need a guy. I feel like we just need... If free agency is not going to allow me to get those guys, get the game changers I need, I'll buy low on Malik Neighbors. Yes, he's... Okay, obviously, I'm going to be trading 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. But we're getting a 93 overall game-changer wide receiver. Doesn't have abilities. Don't care. I'll get his abilities back because we're going to force-feed him, and he is going to be the difference maker for the Dolphins. So we got Malik Neighbors now, wide receiver 1. Jaylen Waddle going back to maybe his more traditional wide receiver 2. So we have that dynamic again where, you have your big dog like Tyreek Hill was, and Waddle can be more of a secondary player. We go into this draft, honestly, I'm going to find a center. That's all I need. Get a center. We're laughing. Okay, I'm not going to be able to trade with the first round. Let's see, can we get to the second round? What centers are available? They're all gone, and they're all UDFA. So, is there a guard? I'm making that guy a center. I'm over it. How is this guy UDFA? I don't know. But Charlie Doxson of LSU, welcome To Miami, top 50 player. You are now a center. Actually, not bad. 74. He probably actually will take a little bit of a ratings hit when we move him. Let's see. That's feasible. Go from 74, 73. I'll pay that cost of cheesing his position here a little bit. As for the class as a whole, Goodyear need a guard. 2 right guards, both 83s. Of course, Philadelphia gets one of those. And there's a decent-looking QB here. So we go to year 5. Our first risk of not winning a Super Bowl in a rebuild. I'm not going to say I like to keep my rebuilds realistic. I do see the occasional comment like, C4, let's, loosen up a little bit. Let's make some trades. Well, this will be the start of maybe seeing on you guys' feedback. You like when I do this? I think it needs to be situational. I think ideally I still like the traditional, like, let me draft. Let's sign free agents as they come. Because sometimes you do get decent free agents. But I think in this rebuild in particular, where there's nothing, and we have so much money, it made sense to make a move like this, to go out and get Malik Neighbors. 26. No win. No, I don't think he's ever made the playoffs. Too damn good of a player to be regressing down to a star depth. So we're going to bring him in. I think he's going to thrive. I think we're going to have a pretty special season with him. I think maybe it makes Jaylen Waddle, like we might get back to having 2,000-yard receivers. Ray, 95 superstar, ready to go. We got Knox now at center. This is a complete roster. We know last year we had a top 5 rushing offense. I'm hoping Neighbors can improve. What were we, 28th in passing yards? Defensively, Chop Robinson is now a superstar. We bring back Christian Wilkins, kind of a greatest hit story, if you will. And we have the best young defender in the NFL, an absolute eliminator in Hankins. You can play multiple positions, and he's an absolute terrorizer with Minkah Fitzpatrick back there. Is this enough to get at least a playoff win? If not, get our Super Bowl here in year 5. So mid-season here, year 5, we are 5-2. Kind of been like beat the team supposed to beat, lose, lost to the Eagles. We lost to the Chargers, I think. So like 2 kind of playoff teams for sure. But 5-2 is a good pace. We're trying to repeat as the 1 seed. Let's spend some money. Up first, we have Trent Ray looking for a $495 million. Oh, got to pay it. Sterling Silver, $100 million. Probably one. He's here down 101. Might take like 102, 103. McGinnis kind of surplus at the. I mean, we just have so much money. Yeah, here you go. Here you go. $3 million, 3-year deal. Done. Tight end. Hey, how about what are you looking for? Maybe a 4-year, $48 million. Done. What else we got? Timothy Jackson at guard. You're looking for a 3-year deal? Done. Still have $50 million. So I guess good news is, you go a whole rebuild without having any free agents. Well, when you're staring down the barrel of, I don't know how to fix this team, you got plenty of money. Literally, you could just throw money at everybody. So I think we can come back. Definitely can get Jalen Phillips over the line. I mean, Christian Wilkins is kind of just a Band-Aid at this point. But I think Silver and Jalen Phillips need to get signed. This took a little bit more. It took about $5 million more to get Silver signed, but we did for 5 years. And we're going to bring Jalen Phillips back on a $22 million deal. So it is back-to-back 13-4 seasons. This year with the number 2 offense, our passing yards, well, we went from 28th to 16th. Progress. Still have a really good run game. Defense is kind of middle of the mall. Pass defense, pretty terrible. Run defense, very good. Taking a look at our stats. Trent Ray played well. 3,700 yards, 38 touchdowns, only 2 picks. So that is lethally accurate. Almost 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns for Achane. We got, maybe it didn't improve the core as much as I thought. Again, I thought we might have a chance to get 2,000-yard receivers, but definitely seeing the impact Malik Neighbors makes. We never had this kind of year to Jaylen Waddle. 1,300 yards. Waddle was close to that, but not 18 touchdowns. So Neighbors, an absolute beast. I think at minimum, that is probably enough to get him back up to at least a superstar depth trade and justifies the trade that we made getting him from the Giants. Hankins, once again, leads the team in tackles. Whoa, Christian Wilkins. Welcome back to the Dolphins, buddy. 7 TFLs, 15 sacks, 13 sacks from Chop Robinson. 11.5 Jalen Phillips, 9.5 from Kenneth Grant. He did something. That is why we re-signed him. Finally. Who would have thought Zach Seiler's the guy that's kind of like holding everyone back on the defensive line? Decent interception numbers there as well. Ray finishes 7th in MVP voting, his best so far. And our only award winner goes to Cordell Flott, DB of the year. Thanks to the Giants, man. 2 Giant trades. We get Neighbors who got 18 touchdowns, and we got Flott who eventually became DB of the year. So we draw in the division around the 10-7 Pittsburgh Steelers, who we are a better roster. They have a good defense, better defense than us. Much of it's going to be good offense versus bad defense. What is going to break? And usually, honestly, my experience in Madden 26, it has been the better defense that tends to win. But let's hope that's not the case here today. We just need Malik Neighbors to go off. That's all we need. Maybe Achane would be sick. Get a couple big long runs. Utilize the fact that he's probably not the fastest running back in the NFL. But when you have Malik Neighbors come to town and, you know, he gives you 20 touchdowns. And when you have a quarterback who goes 35 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, you need that ruthless efficiency that he has shown all year long. And what we've got is no points going into the 4th quarter. Oh, there we go. Get the score when we need it. Minute 36. If we could get in a field goal range, I will take a terribly ugly win. Now we're going to the overtime here. Oh. I feel like it'd be pretty harsh if I don't at least extend this drive and give us a chance to go win here in overtime. There we go. That'll be my influence. And of course, we threw half of our yearly picks in our first playoff game. There we go. I had to give him a slight nudge. It's year 5. Slight nudge, everybody. If that taints whatever we may go, I will not have any influence over the championship. I'll say that. That'll be our one little tidbit there. Wow, Mike Tomlin retired. That was not a good game. This is not a game that is inspiring confidence that we're going to be able to go on for a run here. Trent Ray, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Run game was non-existent. Malik Neighbors at least went off. And I mean, he needs to now be the guy. He needs to be the focal point of this offense because we, you know, shipped the farm of draft picks up. Borderline went all in this year to get Malik Neighbors, assuming he'd be the difference maker. Look at that pass rush. 2.5 sacks from the nose tackle, Kenneth Grant. 2 sacks, Christian Harris. 1.5 Phillips. 1.5 Wilkins. Good God. Not too often Chop Robinson has a very quiet game, and we still have a dominating pass rush. So with the Super Bowl on the line, we get the Jets, who you can't think of the Jets as, you know, the Jets. They are a top 10 offense, number 2 defense. We got a player of the week performance here from Christian Harris. Love to see that. I am curious, though. 13-4 Jets, huh? So when it comes down to it, this is the 2 best teams from a record standpoint. I believe we split the regular season with the Jets 1-1. Like, how are they so good? What do they got? So they got a quarterback here, Phillip Brown. 30 touchdowns, 11 picks out of Texas. He looks, honestly, looks very annoying to deal with. The dual threat, 92 speed, 98 throw on the run, short, medium accuracy, both 91. 91 throw power is good enough. That is probably one of the faster, more athletic dual threats I've seen generated in Madden 26 so far. The run game is, wow, that is very difficult. You know, so you got a 90-plus speed quarterback. You have Breece Hall, and then you got Cam Scatabo to come in, short yardage, and he's efficient at it. Garrett Wilson, Christian Watson. This guy, Oscar Elias. Okay. Defensively, ooh, 17.5 sacks, Quinton Williams. They got Daniil Hunter. Jermaine Johnson's developed nicely. Obviously, not a lot of interceptions, but you know they got Sauce Gardner, who can shut down half a field. Azaria Thomas, he has a dev trait, so yeah, I imagine him to be a highly rated player. Dang, this is going to be tough. So we got the Jets, and we just saw that the Jets are really good, but you have to admit, on paper, if you said you're going to make a chance to make your first Super Bowl, and you don't have to take down the Bills, the Ravens, the Chiefs, Bengals, right? It's the Jets. You'd feel pretty good about that. And honestly, I watched a lot of that Jets-Steelers game, and I was like, man, are the Jets going to be a fun rebuild team? Like, just obviously, and at this point in time, Justin Fields is getting up there in age a little bit, but you'd want to try to, like, make him the feature, the face of that rebuild. So it's kind of like a challenge within the challenge. So you think we should make the Jets our next rebuild team? Let me know. I'll tell you right now, if we lose this game, I'm going to spite them because of it and probably not do that rebuild. But if we win this game, I'm going to tell you that I left week 1. Oh, let's go. Just put it away right here. Touchdown and or take a field goal and chew up that remaining minute 36. Boom. I'll take it. 1 point. Ugly wins for the Dolphins. And it goes back to how I kind of previewed that game against Pittsburgh. I have not seen a lot of overpowering offensive play in our sims. It's been, for the most part, we need to have a good defense. We need to have a reliable defense. And in this one, look at that. It was all Trent Ray. 271 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no picks, almost 80% completion percentage. Your best players, our best players, getting the job done when we need it most. Look at that. 2 sacks. Chop Robinson had a quiet game against Pittsburgh. Kenneth Grant, the nose tackle, was just unreal, man. I literally was like, do I even re-sign him? I didn't even want to pick up his 5th-year option. And we said, because I don't know if I'm going to re-sign him. We ended up doing it. He's been incredible. And the Super Bowl is set. We get the 12-5 Seattle Seahawks. With the name of the game being defense, they have a 2-point advantage on the defensive side of the ball. They have the number 1 rushing offense in the league. We have one of the best rushing defenses in the league. They also have a very good rush defense. They also have a top 5. Like, we are, honestly, looking at it, pretty similar. They have a better defense overall, but this is relatively evenly matched teams. And honestly, Seattle's another, they're probably not as down bad as Miami right now, but they're certainly another team that needs a rebuild. Surprising to see them here in a Super Bowl at 12-5. They got Jared Goff at quarterback. Still have Darnold on the roster, but they get Goff. How did that happen? Well, let's say if he was, like, traded. First, like, maybe Detroit just let his contract run out? I don't think there's anything that would, like, he just signed a 1-year, like, veteran deal. That must be the case. Okay, Goff playing out, and he has Super Bowl experience. The run game, I need Kenneth Walker to play like that in real life. I get Kenneth Walker on my fantasy football team, and now I just watched from, like, a red zone perspective. Every time he was on the field, it's like he ran into a wall. I don't know if that was just the Niners had a great run defense. I know Kenneth Walker does tend to have vision issues. And I don't say this as a biased fan, because I also own Charbonnet. I got stocks on both. But I need Kenneth Walker. I need this Kenneth Walker right here to show up, try to save my fantasy season after starting 0-1. Shout out to CJ Stroud, piece of shit. All right, Jack. They still have JSN. Didn't have a huge year, but we know he's a baller. Ronnie Evans is their wide receiver 1. Defensively, Ernest Jones, you got 10.5 sacks. Mafe, 9.5 for a generated Deion Joseph pass rusher out of Toledo. Byron Murphy, Victor Cook. So they got Tyreek Woolen. They still got their freaks of nature back there. Woolen, Emanwari, Witherspoon in that secondary. I'm not going to lie, though. I'm not seeing much there. I think we can beat Jared Goff. So we talked about you got to beat the Jets to make the Super Bowl. That's a good role for us. Now that we're in the Super Bowl, you got to beat Jared Goff and the Seahawks. And we control the run game. Don't let Kenneth Walker beat us. That's a good role. That's not Philly. That's not Green Bay, who are probably the 2 most annoying teams right now I've seen. Still early in the rebuild season. Still a chance for title updates and patches to kind of change the way of things. But, like, not a lot of annoying, consistent teams from the NFC side. No, not like Cincinnati. Not like Kansas City from the AFC bracket. So I think all in all, very favorable path. But we still got to go do it to it. First points is a field goal from Miami off a turnover. Seattle is not settling for field goals. They get a touchdown. We get a touchdown and miss the extra point. Now, I've watched enough Eagles games in the Super Bowl where when we miss extra points in Super Bowls, tends to be good news. But what you can't have right now is a team that has clearly better offensive players in the Miami Dolphins struggle like this. 9 points almost going into the 4th quarter, and then we get sacked. Oh, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, from a sim standpoint, fellas, defense is what wins championships in Madden 26. Like, we are not winning. Oh, let's go! Let's go! Last drive! Ray gets it done. But we are not winning. If I go look at all of our Super Bowl wins that we've had in Madden 26, and awesome that we get this one in year 5. That's the reason why I've kind of switched how we do the Sims in playoff runs. Because there's always people that go, oh, classic scripting. C4 wins it in year 5. Like, you know, when you do it this way, it at least eliminates people being like, oh, you're forcing wins and stuff like that to kind of, you know, finish the rebuild. But if we go look back at all of our Super Bowl wins, I don't think there's been many games that it's like our offense puts up 35, 45 points and just smashes the other one. For the most part, it has been defense. Defense, defense, defense. And our defense didn't, I mean, you let Jared Goff go for 3 touchdowns, 335 yards. It's not like they stood up here today. But that was a low-scoring game till a couple quick scores in the fourth quarter. Defense is paramount. Trent Ray, 3 touchdowns, 236 yards, 69. Nice completion percentage. Did have the 1 pick. Run game non-existent. Neighbors doing exactly what he needs to do. I love the fact the fullback got a touchdown, but Malik Neighbors making that big trade, the frustrating trade. And again, like, get your guys' feedback on that if we're having a rebuild, because it's not going to be the only time that we get terrible rolls in free agency. Free agency ain't popping, and we have just money to burn. Is this what you want to see maybe more of? Just trying to trade maybe for the best position player that we need. I like to go realistically. I look realistically at all the wide receivers. Like, I was like, oh, Drake London can make sense. I was looking for wide receivers that are in contract years, 1 year left, that like could realistically maybe be traded. But I thought Malik Neighbors made the most sense because he was just regressing. This was a guy that lost his dev traits and stuff like that and just was dwindling in New York. I was like, that could be a trade partner, and it worked out, especially in the Super Bowl. He might be MVP. 8 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown. Defensively, that's not great. Half a sack split there, but we did get the turnover. Minkah Fitzpatrick, old Minkah, and the Dolphins, finally, after a complete blow-up rebuild, are Super Bowl champions. So now, as we always like to do, as we wrap up our rebuilds, let's go to our player stats and what they've been able to accomplish in our rebuild. Trent Ray, the first rebuild where we've had to go get a top name generated quarterback. Now, I will say I have kind of been avoiding some of the obvious rebuilds that need quarterback just to try to get the realistic rebuilds and realistic classes ready. I unfortunately don't have an update on when those are going to be good to go. So we may have to just, do these rebuilds, and then eventually we can shift and brand realistic rebuilds once we get the classes going. But Trent Ray was good for a guy that we drafted. Good rating, but only a star dev trait. We've drafted incredibly well so far to start Madden 26. Almost surprising that our first big-name quarterback wasn't an X factor or a superstar at the gate. But he developed nicely. 15,000 yards passing, 134 touchdowns to 30 picks. Playing really good football. Took his game to another level when we made the trade for Malik Neighbors. Achane was great, 7,600 yards and 57 touchdowns. Ollie Gordon had some good RB2 numbers. Receiving, Jaylen Waddle, just under 10,000 yards and 70 touchdowns. I do think, if you're someone that watches these rebuilds and tries to take stuff from my videos that maybe applies when you want to rebuild the team that we play as, I think maybe we found out Jaylen Waddle's maybe a wide receiver too. Maybe not a guy you can rely on. Wide receiver 1, I put him in the slot. I mean, he was averaging 1,000 yards, but it's not like he's some guy that can be unearthed as a dominating wide receiver 1. You know what I'm saying? I think he may be best suited. Even if you kind of want to go the path of trading away Tyreek Hill, I think the plan should be, either make a big trade like this, get a different wide receiver in, or prioritize drafting maybe a stud. Or if you see a wide receiver that's going in the top 10 picks that looks like, can't miss, height, weight, speed, generational freak of nature, which do exist, maybe go get them and pair that with a Jaylen Waddle. Our passing attack was real solid throughout, very consistent, maybe not dominating, never really had 2,000-yard receivers. And I would say overall, I liked some of the plays in this Dolphins playbook. I don't think they're ever really going to be a great sim offense. Definitely not consistent, because it did feel like some years Achane and our running offense was like top 5. And Achane had 1,300 yards, double-digit touchdowns. And then it felt like we had, 1 or 2 years where Achane didn't even hit 1,000 yards, and our pass game was kind of popping out. So there's just a weird, never know what you're going to get offense here from McDaniel and the Dolphins, which is not always the best thing. I'd rather more a predictable offense. You know what you're getting. Defensively, Minkah Fitzpatrick leads with almost 900 total tackles, 28 picks. We got 74.5 sacks, Jalen Phillips, 69 sacks, Chop Robinson, who was a beast in this rebuild, 59 sacks, Christian Wilkins, who, that's a cool thing. I mean, isn't he still free agent? I think, honestly, in hindsight, maybe I should have done that right. Well, no, it doesn't make sense because he's having Zach Seiler D tackle. But we brought back Wilkins, and he had, 1 year and most sacks on the team. So that could be something you consider. Kenneth Grant was a slow burn. Took all the way to, year 5 for him to put it all together. But he did eventually put it all together. And, yeah, look at that. Couple trades there, Flott and Con. I like, we did some trades. We were aggressive in this rebuild. And I think looking back at our team, our Super Bowl contending team, a lot of those guys made a lot of big-time plays and were key contributors for us winning a Super Bowl. So there you have it, fellas. That is... Oh, we did get the Superstar, too, for Malik Neighbors. Sick. That is our Madden 26 rebuild of the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, I think when we get the realistic classes and can use some college players, we're going to probably have Miami near the top of that list as well to try and, probably do the same thing where we blow up the team and try to get a big-name, exciting young quarterback from college ranks to usher in a new era here in Miami. But I hope you guys did enjoy this rebuild video. Now we got Cordell Flott up to a superstar, and Minkah is back up to a superstar as well. What a trade, dude, to get Cordell Flott. That was sick. What I need from you guys, let me know in the comment section below what team you want to see rebuilt next. I kind of hinted that, I think the Jets may be my preference, but I go with what you guys want to see. Like the last time you guys wanted the Bears, saw Bears, and all the comments. So whatever team you guys want to see, let me know in the comment section below. I will go with the most requested. If not, expect a Jets rebuild to come out hopefully at some point before the weekend. If it is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out, love ya. Have a good one. Oh, tomorrow, Raiders playoffs. Don't miss out.